I have been wearing this for 3 days. I should have rated it higher. There's a question that I get fairly frequently that I was not expecting to get fairly frequently, but in retrospect, I suppose makes sense. How much does that weigh? Usually in reference to the larger garments. I haven't spoken to anyone yet today. Usually in reference to the larger garments I've made. The ball gown, the patchwork sundress, the first split side skirt, 7.5 pounds, 5 pounds, and actually I've never weighed it. Now I must. Ooh. Bam! 2.7 pounds. I don't often think about how much a garment will weigh when I start making it because I don't really mind heavy clothing in a lot of circumstances. To me, it kind of feels very regal, or sometimes like you're getting a hug from your outfit. I also like really big skirts, so it's not uncommon for my clothing to weigh quite a bit. You know when I suddenly realized that clothing weight matters? When I traveled abroad for a chunk of time for the first time since I started sewing for myself. I prefer to be a light traveler, like as light as possible. I want to be that person that's walking through the airport carrying nothing. Am I a secret agent on a mission? Guess you'll never know. That desire is directly contrasted by my desire to pack all of my adorable handmade clothing. Especially when I'm going to like adorable places. So I ran into this issue last year when I went to France, and I did poorly, like real bad. One suitcase, as many cute pieces of clothing as possible, but like with re-wearing and layering and switching around options so that it'll last you for weeks. Did that, managed that. That worked out fine. Totally forgot to take into account the fact that spring in France is not the same as spring in Southern California. It was cold. I was not prepared. This year I'm going to England, and while it's summer, it is still England. And I don't really have any excuses to not be prepared for the weather this time because I have been to Great Britain in the summer, and pretty much my first day in Edinburgh, it was like a lovely 75 degrees, so mild, so light, and literally everyone I ran into kept telling me how I had come at just the right time for this hot weather. This was the hottest day they'd had all year, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? It's August. I mean, though I have lived in many places, I did spend the bulk of my life in a place where August never fell below 100 degrees. So, you know, I've just got a slightly different opinion of what hot is. But also there is the rain to consider and the possibility that the weather will be really pleasant or even quite warm and muggy. All of that to say, I'm trying to prepare a little bit better this year. I want to bring lovely, flowy, pretty clothing because that's what I like to wear even when I'm not embroidering in a castle, but also one suitcase, 50-pound limit. So I'm gonna make some stuff. In a bout of incredible timing, the lovely owner of Morex Fabrics, which is a fabric shop known for their prints. They're here in LA, but they also have a website which I've linked in the description if you want to check them out. He asked if he could send me some free samples of their gorgeous fabrics, and I was like, yes, please. Yo, they are stunning, all 4 of them. I absolutely love these, and they're all so perfect, not just in color and pattern, but also in light breeziness for both summer and for this, for packing in a limited weight suitcase. So a giant thank you to Morex Fabrics for these beautiful materials. And now comes the hard part. What do I make? Because I want to make something out of all 4 of them. Here's what I'm kind of thinking right now. Split side skirt. I really want to do a big, flowy split side skirt that is way lighter than all of the other ones that I have right now. Palazzo pants. I don't know, something about this print. I just immediately was like, these would be so delightful as some big-legged, comfy, flowy, dramatic palazzo pants. A sort of Regency-esque dress. Not very Regency, but just, you know, Empire waist, which is something I do pretty frequently. This one, I'm picturing like a very cottagecore-y dress, something with like some lacing and big poofy sleeves. I would absolutely love to make all 4 of those right now and pack all 4 of those, but I'm leaving pretty soon and I have a bunch of editing that I have to finish before I leave, and I have some family members coming to visit me for a bit before I leave. So time is limited, and therefore I'm not going to require anything of myself because I don't need to stress myself out. All that I expect to make here is the split side skirt. If I get to any of these, good job to me. Cool! After getting distracted by the realization that I had booked 2 of my stays in England for the entirely wrong month, always a delight, no worries, I got it fixed, no panicking. I weighed all of the materials just for the funsies of it. Turns out I'm starting with the heaviest one of the batch, but they're all pretty light materials comparatively. I'm very used to making split-side skirts at this point, so the main challenge here was wrangling this very slippy material and getting my desired full circle skirt out of it. Success at last, and I moved on to the waistband, sashes, and pockets. Since it's so light and shifty, I'm gonna back the pockets and the inside waistband with some stiffer, more stable white material, but I'll also stick interfacing in the front waistband to ensure that it doesn't get all wrinkled up. Pum pum! Oh, good catch, good catch. Mommy's gonna get your little baby butt. I don't often plan travels this far in advance, or as far in advance as I planned this one, which probably isn't even that far in advance according to most people. I think I booked the flight like 3 months before I was gonna leave. Maybe 4. I've already forgotten. And yes, in case you couldn't tell, it's gonna be a chatty video. But that felt like an eternity to me because I usually kind of just fly on the fly. I think last year I got my flights for Paris something like 8 days before I was supposed to leave, maybe even less than that. And I really like it that way because having all of this time beforehand means that I'm just constantly thinking about this upcoming thing. It's just an added distraction in my brain, I guess. But also just trying to plan far ahead feels really risky to me. Oh, that was satisfying. Whoo! The concept of knowing that you'll be free and available and able to do certain things 6 months from now is boggling to me. But that's probably because for about a decade of my life, I was in a pretty constant stage of motion and change. Hi! I had no idea what I would be doing 6 months from any given day. I probably wouldn't even be living in the same place. I think the longest I ever worked one job without break before becoming a YouTuber was 1 year. Is this the cleanest pocket I have ever sewn? Could be, y'all. Yes! Hello. Ow, that's my boob. But in these last few years, I've definitely settled into a place that's starting to feel safer and safer, or more and more routine, I suppose. I know what I'll be doing 6 months from now. Theoretically, I'll be doing this! Yay! Well, that. So booking a flight and a class 3 months in advance wasn't all that crazy, even if it still felt that way. I had to keep getting up and finding Matt so that I could be like, are you sure that there's nothing else going on at this time? Are you sure that I could be gone this long, that it's not gonna end up overlapping with something that I've completely forgotten about? And of course, neither of us have anything else going on besides work, so he was like, calm down and go book the flight. But I really did have to like oomph myself up so that I could finally do it.
Oh, you're so nice.
You'd think I'd be a person that likes routine. Like, when I consider most of my personality traits, I'm like, yeah, you seem like a person that should like routine. But for some reason, I actually don't. Perfect. Like, I really don't. I enjoy familiarity, and I very much need my own space. That is a big one for me. When I've been traveling for a while, staying in hotels or hostels, I do start longing to go home because it's familiar and comfortable and I have everything that I need there exactly where I want it to be. But it's not so much that I'm dying to get back to my regular routine. I do not know that I needed to gather this at all. Oh well. In fact, a lot of times, like the last couple weeks, when I've been kind of restless and finding it harder to focus, I realize it's because I've been in a routine for too long without a break. That's why I like to take a chunk of travel time every year if I can, just to like interrupt, reset, shake myself out of these ruts that I hate, but I've gotten stuck in somehow. I like to know what I'm doing tomorrow. It very much irks me if I do not know what I'm doing tomorrow. I've had jobs before where my boss was not clear on stuff like when we would be starting the next morning. And whoo, baby, those were tough for me. Often the last thing that I'm doing before I go to bed is checking my schedule for the next day. But beyond tomorrow, I get a lot more relaxed. I make a schedule for the next week, maybe even 2 weeks, but I'm open to changing that frequently at the drop of a hat. Past a week, 2 weeks max, everything is just sort of swishy, blurry, mushy maybes, and I kind of like it that way. I really like it that way. So having to plan out weeks of my life when they're still months away was very odd to me. Stay. Like, I'm not only prepared to break a leg and be unable to travel, but also to completely change personalities and no longer want to do any of the things that I plan to do. That's never happened before. I've never had to cancel or back out of some huge thing. But then maybe that's because I've never booked anything far in advance, right? Anyway, it's no longer months away. This trip is now almost here. I made it. I got work done. I tried not to be distracted. And I think I gained a bit of confidence for distance booking because I actually booked this other thing for the future and I only freaked out a little bit, but I still did it. Growth! Okay. So I am gonna let this hang up so that the like circle skirt hem evens out overnight, which is not a thing I always do with circle skirts, but this fabric seems like it's gonna shift around a bit once it hangs. I'll get it hemmed in the morning, and this only took me 1 day, so I guess we'll make something else. The next morning, I got started on the palazzo pants. After giving much attention to this very needy small boy. Matt's been out of town for a bit, so the young one is in need of extra loving and cuddles. I'm basically attempting to replicate these massive pants, but less massive. Still want as much swoosh as possible, so I'm gonna use the full width of the fabric for each side of the trousers. But yeah, since they're elastic waist, they're pretty simple to cut out. I just use my hip measurement plus a little extra to be safe, remind myself for the millionth time which way the slope of a pant's waistband is due to the butt, use my crotch cross section to make those curves, snip snap snoop, we have front and back legs. Then I needed a waistband, a sash, cause a sash seemed like fun, and of course, lay pockets. I also cut a little strip out to be belt loops, cause those are always handy if you're gonna have a sash. Otherwise, I end up losing it somewhere in the pile of laundry. After that, I took a break to do the laundry and the dishes and managed to get back to my sewing room just long enough to stitch the pockets into the front panels before getting distracted by life again. I will say, if you're a person who struggles to allow yourself breaks from a project, or who struggles to sit and work on a project for a long stretch of time, breaking it up into very small chunks is super helpful. Sew on the pockets, go have lunch. Sew the pant legs together, fold the clothes. Sew on the waistbands, go grocery shopping. It can turn a negative into a positive because instead of saying, I haven't finished the project, you can say, I finished sewing on the pockets. I finished ironing the fabric. I finished gathering the waistband. Insert whatever steps your personal project has. Anyway, it doesn't work for everyone or in every situation, but I find it helpful when I'm trying to get a lot of various things done in one day, like today when I'm trying to do a bunch of housework, ew, blah, boring, and sew a pair of palazzo pants. Whee, yay, fun, at the same time. And we did it, it's all done.
Ah, no! Why do you do this to me?
Okay, it's almost done.
Let's try this again.
Now it's done.
Okay. Now we're done.
So originally my plan for today was to start on a dress, this dress specifically. But as I finished the pants last night, or yesterday afternoon, quite early actually, I realized that I don't have anything to wear with them. Not just in like a, I haven't a thing to wear kind of way, but like legit, they're very specific colors and I don't have any top that matches any of these colors. Like this one for the skirt is also some really specific colors, but it's saved by the fact that there's white in there, so I can always just wear a white blouse with it. This one doesn't have white actually in it, so white doesn't quite look right with it. Anyway, all that to say, I went to my fabric mess and pulled 3 materials that match. By the way, this is why we have fabric stashes. I wasn't about to run out and buy fabric to match this right now, but I already had some, so how helpful is that? All 3 of these coordinate pretty dang well with the actual colors of this material. This goes with the darker pink feather color, this goes with the lighter pink feather color, and then these are both the browns that are in this. Like there's a tannish kind of brown and then a darker brown, and this perfectly matches it. The only thing is this too busy? Like a pattern with a pattern, is it too much? I put it to my Instagram peeps to give me their opinions, and enough people said go ahead and try this, even though the pinks won by far. Enough people thought maybe this would work that I'm gonna do all 3. Actually, I already whipped up one top last night. I've officially entered the stage of my sewing journey where I can just whip something up. It literally took me like 2 hours. As she observes some highly shoddy work. It's on the inside, it's fine. Actually, I will fix that though. Anyway, all that to say, I do still really want to make this dress before I leave, but in an effort to meet deadlines and not be stressed, I'm gonna make myself 2 different tops to go with the pants, and that's gonna be it for this video. And if I make that, it'll be off camera, and I'll probably just share about it on Instagram, and it'll just be a little surprise. Cool, cool. Let's do it. I'm thinking like basically a tank top out of this one, and then out of this one, I'm thinking like a cropped peasant top, like this. Specifically, I'm gonna like try to copy that exact thing, except maybe leave the sleeves fluttery instead of having them puffed. We're gonna get stuff done. Huzzah. There we go. It's not even 9 a.m. yet. I do still have to bind it, but you know, super fast make. After a brief existential crisis, welcome to the daily routine of a YouTuber, I tackled the brown top, which should be super simple as well, because I'm just copying this pre-existing top that fits me really nicely. Also, I have tons of fabric, so if it's all wrong, I can do it again. It won't be all wrong though. That's not logical. Logic proves triumphant, and the top is in fact all right, as in it's fine.
I did not film any of that. Whoops, totally forgot. Hi. But it's lunchtime, and I think it's final product time. Let's do it.
Hi, bud. Hello. Sometimes I kind of lose track of where I'm going in the middle of a video, especially considering I don't plan these things out in advance most of the time. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to make. So that's helpful. And in those instances, I end up just turning over this massive chunk of footage to my editing self and hoping that she will turn out a decent video from it somehow. You're beautiful. My editing self is not always the biggest fan of my filming self. In case you couldn't tell from the video, this was one of those times. I'll do my best to turn it into something logical and entertaining, but I don't know, man. I don't know. That's not to say I didn't enjoy what I just made. In fact, I love it. These pants, I love them so much. I'm so excited to wear these. I'm so excited to take them to England. The 3 different tops that I made for them, all fun and comfy and very different. This one's reversible. The tank top is technically reversible. Reversible. Even the brown one, you could actually reverse if you wanted to. It's just the same on both sides. And the skirt, gorgeous, so light and breezy. That fabric feels like butter on your legs. That's actually a really not a good analogy, metaphor, simile. I can't think of a better one. It's real soft and smooth and floaty, and it feels so nice. Both of these fabrics are gorgeous, so a massive, massive thank you again to Morex Fabrics for sending them to me, and the other 2. I can't wait to make something out of the other 2 as well. I really hope that I manage to get my sort of Regency-esque dress done before I leave, because you know it'd be perfect to wear to Chatsworth House. But we shall see. Yeah, all of it turned out so well, and I think that's partially why I lost my way on like what I was doing with this video, because I was just having a lot of fun sewing things and making things, and then I was like, oh, you were also like filming a video right now. What the heck is happening with that? But that's okay, because I kind of haven't taken a break in a really long time, and this is my last video before I take a break. I don't think you're going to experience that break. I think I got ahead enough that there will be no weeks off of posting, maybe, we'll see. But this is the last video I'm making before I leave for England. And despite the fact that I'm, you know, taking a course there, and I will definitely be making some videos about the whole thing, process, class, travel, all of it. Despite all that, it still very much feels like a break for me, because it's a change in scenery, it's a change in routine, it's a change in everything, and I need that real bad right now. It's funny, when I say I need a break, I never really mean like I need a vacation, or I need to do nothing, or I need like to relax more. I really just mean I need a change. I need something to be different. At least for a little bit. A break, as in a literal break in what is happening, not a break as in a period of relaxation. And I need a break. I'm totally cool with working hard during that break. I just, I need a change. I don't know, I hope this video was fun, because right now I don't know what it's gonna be like. Okay, bye! Or perhaps I should say, cheerio! There's so many British phrases that I really like. Bob's your uncle. Ta. Jog on. Brick it. There's a bunch more too. Anyway, bye for real! You're not in a hurry. Oh, you're not in a hurry. Yeah. Fine. Come on, chair. Why are you being a little pain in the butt? You're cute. Ow. No, that's fine. That's fine. Everything is fine. Small boy, small boy, small boy. You're such a little lump. What's happening? Isn't this exciting stuff to watch? You don't have to watch it, because I'll edit it out.